Some of you who did some research before you guys came to Newport might have seen that we're really famous for our floating sea lion docks, or our abundant sea lion population. When you got here, you might have noticed there's a complete lack of them. And that's because all of the sea lions that live in Oregon, Washington, and Northern California are male sea lions. There are no female sea lions. All the female sea lions live down in Southern California year-round, and during the month of July, as we affectionately call it Quiet July, all the males leave, go down to breed for about a month before they'll return. Usually we won't see that behavior out of our spotted harbor seals. They are a mixed community of males and females, and they pup right here up in Oregon. It's really important to keep that in mind when you're seeing a pup on the sand, to give it a nice wide area. Make sure you're avoiding it as much as possible. The mother harbor seals will leave those babies unattended on shore while they go out and feed, so they can then produce that nutrient-rich milk for that baby. However, if that baby is disturbed by dogs or people, then you want to make sure that it's not going to be abandoned by that mom due to a foreign smell. So it's really great. It's a special opportunity. We get to see them so close up here from the boat without disturbing them. They are protected by the Marine Mammal Protection Act, which means that you cannot hunt them, you cannot pet them, you cannot feed them. Alright guys, so you have caught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dungeness crabs. You might have noticed that there's one extra crab here. There's one that's not a Dungeness crab, it's a red rock crab. So this guy right here, this is a Dungeness crab. You know this is a Dungeness crab because it has 10 points on either side of its carapace, which is this big shell right here on the back. So there's a point here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's an identifying feature for you of this Dungeness crab, as well as the fact that it has these white tips to its claws right here. So these are really nice identifying factors for you. Now once we've identified a Dungeness crab, if we want to fish for these guys, there's two things we need to know. So we need to be able to tell the difference between a male and a female. So you guys might have heard me talking earlier when we were in the estuary about how these female crabs carry their clutch of eggs up into the estuary to lay them on eelgrass. So they need this big, wide belly plate to be able to hinge it away from their abdomen, and they'll carry their clutch of eggs inside that pocket until they come up the estuary and deposit them up there. These males, they have a super skinny belly plate, about as wide as my finger. This is about 3 of the female, and that's going to be an indicator to you that that's a male. So right off the bat, we know that this one is not harvestable, but she is a female, so we'll set her to the side. The next step, does anyone know? What's the other thing you need to know? What is it? How big it is! Yeah, that's exactly right. So we have a tool on board to help us with this. Thank you. And this thing is a handy dandy little crab ruler. You can notice it has some notches right here. These notches say 5 3/4 inches for Oregon, 6 for Washington, and 6 1/4 for California. That's because in Oregon we have the smallest catch size limit, versus there's a more vulnerable population in California and Washington. So it's a little bit smaller and we don't want to overfish them. So when we're measuring this guy, we want to flip him over. We'll measure from that gap to that gap. You guys think he's a keeper? No, he's way too small, so we'll set him aside.
Up our starboard side there, the majestic isle, the overcast, island like Lindbergh. All have those big aluminum poles that stick up in the air. They set those out about 45-degree angle, and then they run some lines off of those with fish hooks on them. Looks like fishing with a fishing pole, and it looks like 4 on each side of most of them, and they'll be trolling. And they troll for salmon, or pretty quick here they'll start albacore tuna fishing.
Well, folks, this is the part of the journey where we start back east. It's a very overcast day here in Newport, Oregon. And on our way back east, we'll be going through the center of the state, and so we won't be back on Interstate 84. In fact, we won't be doing any interstate highways today. When we take a left at this light here, we'll start out on US Route 20, and we'll be taking secondary roads all day. Sign says 20 east to Boston, Massachusetts, 3,365 miles. We're not going quite that far. But if you look at a map of Oregon, you'll see that there are really only 2 interstate highways that cross it. One is Interstate 5 that goes north and south. It goes up through Portland, and it actually goes through the largest cities in Oregon, which are not on the coast. And again, that's because the coast is so rocky and forbidding in so many places, and doesn't really lend itself to good ports for large port cities. It has harbors for fishing and stuff. We found that out yesterday, like Newport here. And the other interstate is Interstate 84, which enters southeast Oregon at the Idaho border, then runs northwest until it comes up over the Blue Mountains and then to the Columbia River, and runs along there just across the border with Washington until it gets to Portland, where it ends. And all the rest of Oregon is traversable by these secondary highways. It's going to take us possibly 10 hours to get back over to eastern Oregon, where I'll be visiting my people again. And then we continue east to Pennsylvania. Hope you'll join us for the whole trip back, because there are more surprises and fun little things along the way that we'll be doing. Going through downtown Corvallis. This is probably the biggest town that we'll see today. About 59,000 people. Well, this is Monmouth, Oregon. We didn't expect to pass through here, but well, we took a wrong turn. Or, I think more accurately, we missed a turn to stay on Route 20. Ended up on Route 99W, State Road, going north. And when I realized it, stopped to take a look at the map, and I guess we're going an alternate route. So this is State Road 51, and this will take us up to State Road 22 east through Salem, Oregon, I guess. And then we'll continue east from there and head into the Cascade Mountains on 22 instead of 20. This is what happens when you're not using GPS to navigate. And that's fine with me. I don't like to use GPS. I like to use the ancient navigational arts. I have maps with me and am able to read them. And I've got all day, so not a problem. I guess we were meant to see things along this route instead. All right, we we finally made it out into the boonies. So this is Route 22, and we can see the mountains of the Cascade Range ahead of us. And this will eventually take us back to US 20. So we'll end up back on the planned route eventually. Well, this is interesting. How about we check out some igneous rock? I guess we should watch our step. See these holes right here? It looks like if you stepped around there someplace, something could cave in. I don't know if it really could, but I don't want to find out. What kinds of critters might be living in there? And if you're looking for US 20, just go, less than a mile past the piles of igneous rock on both sides, and Route 22 runs dead into US 20. So now we're back on course, back on the planned route, which will take us eventually off of 20, cutting over to Redmond, Oregon, where we'll pick up US Route 26 and go east on that. Now that sign says PCT a quarter mile. However, there is a trail that crosses the road right here. And I just saw a Nobo backpacker. Go right up that way. I guess this is a different trail. PCT is a little farther down. Even so, when I pulled off the road, I rolled down my window really quick and said, "Yo, trail magic!" He kind of looked in my direction, but he kept on walking. Okay, I think that was actually the PCT. And the sign was saying that to get to it, to access it by road, you turn down here. And then the road split right there. So let's see, is this gonna be it right up here? That looks like a trail log register right there. Yep, let's have a look. Slot for wilderness permits, I guess. Okay, where are we? We're about right here, Route 20, and 126. Here's Route 22 that we came off of, and then on to 20. So, trail goes up here to Wasco Lake, Rockpile Mountain, and so on and so forth. So that was a Nobo hiker. I don't know if he was a through hiker, but we just missed him. Although, maybe I saw a car around the corner here. Maybe he decided to stop right up here. And maybe someone else is doing like real live trail magic. Looks like there's a latrine there. So take note if you're doing the PCT. After you cross US 20 at Santiam Pass, in a little ways take a left into this parking lot, and well, we see what we think is a latrine. Let's see if it really is. Yep. Trash collection too. Well, I am so bummed that we missed that guy. You think we should hang around here for about a half hour just to see if any other through hikers come through? I mean, a half hour window is pretty short, but I guess you never know. I would love to share some of my Lance sour cream and chive crackers with somebody who might want them, or a Three Musketeers bar. I have a strawberry vanilla soda, and they might want to know about the privy because they might not know about it. Okay, now I see where the trail goes, Nobo, but does it actually? Oh, I see somebody there. Well, this place is called Big Lake Youth Camp. You can find it along the PCT south of Route 20. Again, near, what is it, Santiam Pass. So, a fellow came through. I won't disclose his name. He didn't want to be on video, you know, which is fine. He was doing a Nobo lash, as in long-ass section hike, doing about a 100-mile section, and he had passed up this place called Big Lake Youth Camp, was continuing on, but then after I stopped him and said, hey, I've got trail magic for you, you want a cold drink, you want some crackers, you know, some electrolytes, Cheez-Its, you know, some tuna, sardines, whatever you want. And he decided that maybe a hot meal sounded pretty good to him, and if I was interested, we could jump in the car and go down to a place where there's he thought it was a resort. I think maybe it is, or it's a sort of camp sort of place that you can reserve for groups, something like that. And he thought there was a restaurant in there. He'd, you know, been here years ago. Turns out no restaurants, no hot meal there. But he asked if I could bring him down here to Big Lake Youth Camp, which he had passed up. But now he's thinking, you know what? They've got meals there that they provide to through hikers for donations. If you want, he could get a meal there, and he decided he'd probably just take a zero there tomorrow as well. So we brought him down here. He insisted on giving me 20 bucks, which I tried to refuse, but he basically wouldn't, you know, he just dropped the bill in my car, and it was up to me what to do with it from there. So, I mean, I guess I'm not going to throw it out on the road, right? So we did get to do some trail magic. Awesome. So if he was going to backtrack to this place, he would have, somewhere down there where the trail runs, he would have come down this road and then had to walk down that road, plus the part of the trail that he'd be backtracking on. So we probably saved him a couple of miles at least. Thanks, bud. You didn't have to do that. How did you get in here? Through the window, I imagine. Could I invite you out? There you go. Yep. Be free. Explore another car. Pretty sure I saw a sign for a Dairy Queen. Where is it? Oh. There's even a shady spot to park. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm good for another 500 miles now. Let's go. So we've come out of the Cascades, rolling through a sort of valley here, I guess. You can see some mountains in the distance. And we're heading into the, well, I guess I don't know what the area coming up is called. I know there's something called the John Day Wilderness. But, you know, just various mountains of central and then eastern Oregon. We're now coming into Prineville. Oh no, we're gonna drive off the edge of the world. Oh, no, there's a wall there. Watch out for rattlesnakes. Let's get out of here before old dude gets dizzy.